Also, it's so funny to me that polyvore sold us out to a trash luxury retailer trying to sell us when they know their site was full of people creating virtual outfits because they couldn't afford the real thing. Hey guys, it's Nicole. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to make a video over the horrible handling of the shutdown of the site called Polyvore. Polyvore shut down in April of 2018, and I just kind of wanted to call out the way it was done and just give some insight, especially if you stumbled on this video after remembering Polyvore and kind of wondering why the website doesn't work anymore. So a little bit of backstory on Polyvore. Polyvore was a community-powered social commerce website that was founded in 2007, where users could create image-based collages that were called sets. It was mostly fashion-oriented, and it started out this way, but users quickly began using it for art sets, beauty-related sets, paper doll kind of sets. Pretty much anything you could think of, you could do it on Polyvore. You could even clip your own images to use in sets. Here were some of mine. I mostly did fashion sets. A lot of people also used it as a means to role play with friends, or they would create outfits for stories they were writing, such as fan fictions or vision or mood boards for these kind of stories or role plays. It was really big to do these popular collages of what I would wear when meeting Harry Styles or things like that. Just sets in that kind of fandom niche. Outfits like that kind of blew up on Instagram as well. I'm sure you remember seeing things like them floating around Instagram or Tumblr back from probably 2011 to 2015. Those were all made on Polyvore. Polyvore also had features on their website such as groups, where you could hold contests and you could possibly win some, and then you would have trophies to display on your profile. They had an ask section for a while where people could go on there and ask advice from other users, and you could respond to them using a set, and you could basically be kind of like a personal stylist for them. They would ask, what should I wear while going to this concert? And then you could reply with a literal outfit suggestion. People would do things like scavenger hunts where they encouraged their followers to go make a collection of items, and then they could win prizes like shout outs or a set dedicated to them. There were also the nostalgic battle groups where there would be weekly contests where you would have to create a set with certain requirements, like use your favorite scented candle in this set or style a pair of shorts in this set. Polyvore also chose a certain amount of top sets a day, which they would then display on their homepage to its millions of users for that day only. I had a top set I think 3 or 4 times, I believe. Still one of my proudest moments. I cannot even describe to you the happiness I would feel when logging on in the app for the day and just like seeing that I was on the homepage. This would in turn cause thousands of people to click onto your profile, and then you'd get a ton of followers from that. People also used to blog in the description of their sets, whether you made a fashion set or whatever kind. You could talk about your day, and then people could comment on that, and you could find people with things in common and just like start conversations. It was really community oriented. There were also these group accounts called tip accounts that you would literally audition for, and it would be a huge group of people on one account where you would make sets that look like this, and you would basically post in the description kind of like tutorials or giving advice to people. It was basically just an amazing, really creative community to be a part of. So there were 20 million users at the time of its shutdown, so it wasn't anything that would compete with like Twitter or Instagram, especially as it was a really niche type of social media. You had to have that kind of creativity, but it was legit. Like, they had meetups in New York, like Polyvore sponsored meetups, and they would send merch to certain like loyal members. My friend Zoe even still has a Polyvore mug, I believe, that's like color changing with hot water. Speaking of which, Zoe has been my best friend whom I met on Polyvore since 2015. She's the best. We literally send each other packages and like FaceTime each other. I'm really glad we connected on other platforms before the damn site closed down. Some people weren't so lucky, but Polyvore definitely seemed like the kind of community that was only going to just keep growing and growing. Like, it had never really hit a peak. Its peak was pretty much the day it closed down. It had never had that many members. It had never been that big, and it was probably only going to get bigger and bigger. As far as a typical amount of followers, or what was considered a big account, it was rare to see someone with like 100K on there. The Polyvore account itself on there had, I think, 1 million. There were a few large accounts of individual creators that had like 50K to 100K. I had around 18K at the time of its shutdown, and while these bigger creators on Polyvore didn't have a huge amount of followers when compared to the huge content creators of Instagram or YouTube, for example, there were still like brand deals going on even. I did a bunch myself. I started doing them around 1,000 followers, so there were definitely people possibly at around like 50K who were making probably pretty decent spending money off of this. Some people argue that the shutdown took away people's livelihoods in this way, whether they used Polyvore Polyvore to make content for a blog they were running that was monetized, or they were doing brand deals on the Polyvore website itself. I know the 18,000 that I had really helped me get eyes and ears on the original music that I was writing. I was able to direct traffic over to listen to that. And because of the way the website was shut down with absolutely no notice at all, the creators had no way of redirecting their followers to another platform to follow them on, so you essentially just lost the entire audience that you had built up. You also would lose any connections with any friends you made just on the Polyvore site, because if you didn't exchange information with them for like Instagram or Snapchat or whatever, there was no way to contact them after that. This brings me to the question I have major beef with: why was Polyvore shut down? So Polyvore was bought up by the Canadian retailer Ssense. Yes, it's spelled like that. No, it makes no sense. And instead of deciding to leave Polyvore and all of its functions up and running for its 20 million plus users in order to make Polyvore better, and then have those 20 million plus users possibly view Ssense in a very favorable light, they decided to just completely shut down the whole thing with no notice and take all of Polyvore's users' data and use it to send spam emails to. Users could of course opt out of this, which we all did. We all opted out of it, but they basically just decided to buy all of the data and then just completely close down the website and all of its functions. So I was there when the site slowly started crashing that day. I think it was like April 18th or something. I thought it was just some kind of glitch and the site would be like back up within a few hours, but that would be the last time I would ever be able to log on, and of course I would have no idea. Once the demolition was complete, going to polyvore.com automatically redirected to Sense's website, and there would be a little message that said you had less than a month to download your file from Polyvore before they were deleted forever. So it had all of your creations in it, and there was no notice, no warning, no heads up. So basically just move fast or you're gonna lose everything you'd spent however long making, which in my case was since 2011, but some people had been on there since 2007. So people were infuriated and everyone immediately went to Instagram and Twitter to complain. Sense was getting an insane amount of hate, and low-key they still are. Like, people continue to make posts with the Bring Back Polyvore hashtag like every day, and people were very infuriated that the file that they gave us that had all of our creations in it had a ton of broken links and didn't even include our draft sets that we had yet to publish on the site. The links to our saved items were broken because the links were Polyvore links, so whenever you click something that's for Polyvore, it automatically just goes to Sense's webpage. I love that for us. So I wasn't even able to go find my collections of the items that I would use in sets to then transfer them to a Polyvore alternative so I could use them there to make sets. Finally, Sense gave in and decided to allow us to download our drafts, at least. So there's that. But literally any issue you had with this file, Sense had the worst customer service I'd ever seen. I was so pissy in their DMs. The acquisition of Polyvore could have been one of the smartest business decisions that Sense had ever made. Instead of using it to unsuccessfully farm all of our data, they could have kept Polyvore up and running, as I said, and literally used it to push tons of traffic over to their website so that that would convert to purchases over there. You're deleting a possible 20 million users to advertise to. Sense also could have partnered with Polyvore's top creators and then done the brand deals that other brands had been taking advantage of up to this point. Sense could have also had Polyvore sponsored contests that were displayed on the homepage where users could submit sets using the clothing off of Sense's website, and then there would just be pages and pages of entries of sets with Sense's clothing in there. Like, just the amount of things I can think of just sitting here now of the ways they could have really created this amazing connection with Polyvore's users, but they decided to just delete us. Did you know what Sense was before this? I didn't know what Sense was before this. So this just left people infuriated and kind of with a now what sort of attitude. Luckily there are alternatives to Polyvore such as Your Style. Go follow me on there at exonicole if you'd like. It's a lot like Polyvore and hopefully won't sell us out from under our feet. From what I've gathered from this alternative, it's a little Polish startup that was created by some displaced Polyvore users who were actual members of the site. So I think they do have our best interests at heart. I also have plans to use the Your Style website to create content for future YouTube videos. So there's that. I truly don't know what kind of reaction Sense was expecting. It's just so infuriating that this could have been such a good business move and collaboration between Sense and Polyvore, but Sense continues to be an irrelevant little retailer, while Polyvore to this day has over 6 times as many followers as them on Twitter, and they've been dead for 3 years. Also, it's so funny to me that Polyvore sold us out to a trash luxury retailer trying to sell us shit when they know their site was full of people creating virtual outfits because they couldn't afford the real thing. I just wanted to call it out. It's so awful. I mean, I realize there are bigger problems in the world, but like just completely destroying entire online communities, especially when people are making making income off of them, and there's just no, I don't know, I guess I'm just trying to expose like corporate capitalistic greed. It doesn't even, like, they could have made so much more money from not destroying it. It doesn't make any sense to me, but that's sense for you. I think this is about all I have to say on this topic. This is the first commentary style sort of video that I'm making on here, so let me know down in the comments what you think. I don't think this is something I'm gonna like continue to do really, unless you guys really like it. This is just something I've wanted to talk about for a long time, especially because I have talked about losing the 18,000 followers, and I wanted to kind of explain what happened there. So let me know down in the comments what you think. I reply to every single comment, so I highly encourage you to leave one and leave this video a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you want to see more. If you were on Polyvore, please God leave me a comment down below that tells me what your username was. We can reminisce in the comments. I'm still looking for Alex-T-S, I think her username was. I feel like I had her Snapchat at one point but then like lost it or something. I literally wrote a song inspired by her and just like makes me so sad. And also drop your favorite Polyvore alternatives below. I know there's some others, so anyone stumbling on this video can find just where to go now other than your style. So I will see you all next week, and I hope you have an amazing day. Bye guys.